Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Ujirayet Nashta Prayeshva Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Lahayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shigurum Dinatarinam Mukam Karotva Karyan Sabara Smarane Pangushilankyan Hadehi Taragane Shri Chaitanya Simkhira Navadvipa Avatara Simha Griva Simha Virya Simkhira Hunkara Ugram Viram Mahavishnum Jvalantam Sarvato Mukham Nrisimham Vishanam Badram Rityum Rityum Namamyaham. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavad-Gita as it is, and we are in introduction. And we are so happy. I am feeling myself so happy from few days because I am getting the most sweet part, last part, the most sweet. Krishna somehow so merciful for me. Radharani, also Radharani Kripa. All other devotees, Vaishnavas, they were speaking a lot about how this introduction of Bhagavad-Gita, Srila Prabhupada wrote in so many difficulties. His copies of Bhagavad-Gita 2 times, first time was lost, second time was fire, and third time in America he was going to print it. And the editors, they cut 400 pages of Bhagavad-Gita as it is. And it came in purple. Purple means merlon color. Merlon, like this merlon, dark merlon color. First edition of Bhagavad-Gita. Now, it is so rare. Only 1-2 copies in whole world of that first Bhagavad-Gita editions. It is somewhere in USA in museum. I think in Matchless Gift Shop. Matchless Gift Shop in New York. It is in a museum. The first, Srila Prabhupada was keeping it in his hand.
Is it very big, Mother?
Yeah, it's bigger than this. But 400 pages was cut it. And Srila Prabhupada was very much aggrieved when he knew about that. Because he was giving transliteration to every Sanskrit text, then word by word meaning, and then he's giving translation. And it was so pakka, so nice, very authoritative, because they, not only we are neophytes, we are just starting our Krishna consciousness, we know nothing, but the scientific circles, scientists in America, thousand translation of Bhagavad-Gita, just there, Bhagavad-Gita. Many translators, many authors of Bhagavad-Gita, they are unscrupulously, they are written commentaries to the verses of Bhagavad-Gita, and they are presenting their own view. I'm thinking that should be like this. Who are you to think? This is words of God. The Bhagavad-Gita verses came out of the lotus mouth of Lord Krishna himself, his teacher, his guru of Arjuna. Only Arjuna was a recipient of Bhagavad-Gita as it is, as Bhagavad-Gita, as it came from the lotus mouth of Lord Shri Krishna. And it was spoken, this Bhagavad-Gita, Song of God. Bhagavat, Krishna is Bhagavat. Gita is a song, the song of God. And how you sing, how long it was, he was singing on battlefield of Kurukshetra to Arjuna, this song. How you sing? How long in time?
45 minutes.
So 30 minutes. I read one place. 30 minutes. He delivered all Bhagavad-Gita to Arjuna. And we are learning, 30 years I am learning and nothing. But that time was different and people were different. So today we are reading on the page 28. Please open the page 28. We are on the last portion of introduction. Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada wrote, in conclusion, at the end of page 28, just last paragraph, in conclusion, Bhagavad-Gita, a transcendental literature which one should read very carefully. Gita Shastram idam punyam yah pathyet prayatah puman. If one properly follows the instructions of Bhagavad-Gita, one can be freed from all the miseries and anxieties of life. Bhaya shokadi varjitaha. One will be freed from all fears in this life, and one's next life will be spiritual. This is Gita Mahatmya 1. Actually, there is 7 verses of Gita Mahatmya. This is glorification of Bhagavad-Gita. And who knows who wrote this Gita Mahatmya? It's very interesting. Who wrote this Gita Mahatmya? It will give us clue for our discussion. You should know this in the beginning. Who wrote this Gita Mahatmya? Who is glorifying Gita, Krishna, personality of Krishna? Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya, who is hidden. He's an incarnation of God, Lord Shiva himself. And he came on this age, fallen age, just to take out people from the Vedas. Because people on the form of yagyas, they're killing animals and eating the meat. They started eating meat. You see? Now I should tell you that India occupies first place on selling the cow meat on the world. Exporting. First place. After India, stays United States of America. India on the first place. This is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, the age of degradation. The brain degrades, consciousness degrades, body degrades, everything diminishes in the size. So we need to be very careful. We are living in a very, very dangerous age. But there is one advantage of being born in Kali Yuga, especially this Kali Yuga. This Kali Yuga is glorious, glorious. Krishna comes in this material world once in a day, Brahma. Day Brahma and his night also. Same quantity of years in our calculation, something 8 billions 360 millions years. You see, this is only day and same night. So every day of Lord Brahma, Krishna descends from spiritual world. For what? What to do here? This one time Bhakti Chaitanya Swami, you know Bhakti Chaitanya Swami from Australia? Big guru, initiating guru. He has many disciples. I was on his lecture. And his disciples saying, in a very like this manner, his English excellent, Bhakti Chaitanya Swami. He's from Australia, of course. His English, but his English is such excellent. He speaks like a poet. And very nice to listen him, just like poem. He's not speaking in ordinary way. And he was, this disciple asking question, "Oh, Guruji, can you tell us, is it true when we are performing yagya, Agnihotra yagya, that demigods also descending and sitting and taking offerings? Is it true?" And Bhakti Chaitanya Swami, he's Lord. You know Lord? Lord, in England, they have the position, Lord, in Parliament. In Parliament, Lord. For example, Bhakti Vikash Maharaj. He's also Lord. Lord. He's descending from the Lord's family. Bhakti Chaitanya Swami also. You see, he's not ordinary person. And he said, "Oh, my friend," he says to his disciple, "I'm sitting next." And he said, "Oh, my friend, in Kali Yuga, demigods, they are not coming to this earthly planet even to urinate." You can imagine? Because it's so dirty. Actually, when Yudhishthir Maharaj was emperor of Bharata Varsha, and demigods used to come. It was very easy, not like such position as now. They were coming by Vimans. They're coming and as a guest to different occasions. They're coming to the earthly planet. But even though, how you can differentiate between the ordinary man who lives here in planet and the demigod? Very easy. Do you know somebody? They're looking same these garlands, helmet, and this all golden, this jewelries, everything. But you can immediately differentiate. Oh, this is demigod and this ordinary person. How? Do you know? When demigods walking, they're on the 50 centimeters above the level of the ground. They're not touching the ground. They're walking on the air. Why? Because they don't want to be contaminated. You see? By material nature. They're living on the highly elevated places. Very clean, nice. So what to say about now? In our Kali Yuga, only 5,000 years gone, but nevertheless degradation is such high intensity. So then Shankaracharya wrote this Gita Mahatmya. Gita, song, Mahatmya, glorification of the song of God. And who is Shankaracharya? He is leader of Advaitavadis, the most prominent Mayavadis, who are saying everything false. They are monists. Monist means only one. Exists only Brahman, nothing else. And if some personality comes from Brahman and says, "I am Supreme Personality of Godhead," and he has so many names, everybody knows, Govinda, Shyamasundar, different names, Mukunda, Madana, Mohana, Madana, Gopala, so many names. And they're saying Advaitavadis, this is all false, because it's all material. The forms and names are false. There is only oneness, only one Brahman. Only Brahman is conscious, and he changeless. He never changes. He Nirguna Brahman. And Shankaracharya, he was leader of that. At this age, was 13th century. 13th century, 700 years back. And it started in Kerala, in South India, nearby Udupi. Udupi.
Udupi is in Karnataka.
Karnataka. And what happened?
Near Guruvayur.
Yeah, Guruvayur, yeah. And what happened? That we all know a story that Shankaracharya actually is a hidden Avatara. He came. Why I'm talking so much about that? We will go at the end to the Guru Parampara. I have they said to me to little bit disciplic succession, Guru Parampara, and we will remember about this point. So his hidden Avatara of Lord Shiva, why he came, as I said, people in the beginning of Kali Yuga, under the covering of doing yagya, they were killing so many animals. They started from small animals, like buffalo, goats, sheep, but then they came to the cows. They started to kill the cows. And it was so prominent, and people became so attached to the taste of the meat. They couldn't reverse. All the Brahmanas became afflicted in this. They couldn't take them from this habit. And then Shankaracharya came and he said, Vedas are wrong. He diverted all the people, started divert people from the Vedas. And at this time, 13th century, in South India, our Brahma Sampradaya, at those times was only Brahma Sampradaya. It was not distinguished from, it was something very miserable and not seen. It completely, our Siddhanta was closed, covered. Nobody can go against the Advaitavadis. They was so prominent. Because Shankaracharya, in the beginning, he is the leader of that group. And at this time, appear. This is very amazing how the Krishna brings the special person at the time of crisis. Appear Madhvacharya in Udupi. And you know what happened? So Madhva Acharya, he took sannyas from Shankaracharya. And his name was Ananda Tirtha. They're giving title Tirtha to their sannyasis. So he became Ananda Tirtha. And he gave so many sannyasa initiation himself to all his disciples. But inside, he was not agree with the philosophy of Mayavadis. What to do? He started secretly search, and he revived all the philosophy of Siddhanta, of Vaishnavas. And he started translate Srimad Bhagavatam, and he gave his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. I will tell you what's the name of his commentary. It different from ours commentaries in some way, because still Madhvaita, the name of this direction what he was leading, Madhvaita. So it was very interesting how he came to this point. And he was in very dangerous position. This Advaitavadis is so strong, so many of them, million. And Vaishnava philosophy was covered. Nobody was respecting, nobody was considering even it is a philosophy. This is only 13th century. This is 700 years back. 700 years. So, and Shankaracharya, being a leader of Advaitavadis, he wrote this Gita Mahatmya. This is amazing. Glorification of the Bhagavad-Gita. And he personifies Krishna, personality of Krishna. And he was a person who was saying to his disciples, to his followers, he said, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, oh you fool, all you are fool. Don't think that your jugglery by Sanskrit grammar will help you at the time of your death. You see? But he's hidden avatar. So you know now that Gita Mahatmya was written by Shankaracharya. And what he said, Gita Mahatmya 1. There is also a further advantage, this Srila Prabhupada says in his introduction. If you follow very properly, if one properly follows the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, one can be freed from all the miseries and anxieties of life. Bhaya Shokadi Varjitaha. One will be freed from all fears in this life, and one's next life will be spiritual. There is also a further advantage. Gidathyayana shilasya pranayama parasya cha naiva shantihi papani purva janma kritani cha. If one reads Bhagavad Gita very sincerely and with all seriousness, then by the grace of the Lord, the reactions of his past misdeeds will not act upon him. Gita Mahatmya 2. The Lord says very loudly in the last portion of Bhagavad Gita, 1866. Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papepyo muksha ishyami ma shuchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Thus the Lord takes all responsibility for one who surrenders unto him, and he indemnifies such a person against all reactions of sins. Mala nirmochanam pumsam jalasnanam dine dine sakrit gitamrita snanam samsaramala nashanam. One may cleanse himself daily by taking a bath in water. But if one takes a bath even once in the sacred Ganges water of Bhagavad Gita, for him the dirt of material life is altogether vanquished. Gita Mahatmya 3. Gita sugita kartavya kim anyaich shastra vistaraich yasvayam padmanabhasya mukha padmatvinik shrita. Because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one need not read any other Vedic literature. One need only attentively and regularly hear and read Bhagavad Gita. In the present age, people are so absorbed in mundane activities that it is not possible for them to read all the Vedic literatures. But this is not necessary. This one book, Bhagavad Gita, will suffice because it is the essence of all Vedic literatures, and especially because it is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Gita Mahatmya. As it is said, Bharatamrita sarvasvam Vishnu vaktrat vinikshritam Gita gangodakam pitva punarjanma navidyate. One who drinks the water of the Ganges attains salvation. So what to speak of one who drinks the nectar of Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is the essential nectar of the Mahabharata, and it is spoken by Lord Krishna himself, the original Vishnu. Gita Mahatmya 5. Bhagavad Gita comes from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Ganges is said to emanate from the lotus feet of the Lord. Of course, there is no difference between the mouth and the feet of the Supreme Lord, but from an impartial study, we can appreciate that Bhagavad Gita is even more important than the water of the Ganges. Sarvo Panishado Gavo Doktha Gopala Nandananaha Partha Partho Vatsach Sudhir Bhokta Duktham Gitam Ritam Mahat. This Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad-Gita, the essence of all the Upanishads, is just like a cow, and Lord Krishna, who is famous as a cow-head boy, is milking this cow. Arjuna is just like a calf, and learned scholars and pure devotees are to drink the nectarian milk of Bhagavad-Gita. Gita Mahatmya 6. Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam, Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva, Eko Mantras Tasya Namani Yani, Karma Pekam Tasya Devasya Seva. Gita Mahatmya 7. In this present day, people are very much eager to have one scripture, one God, one religion, and one occupation. Therefore, Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam. Let there be one scripture only, one common scripture for the whole world, Bhagavad-Gita. Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva. Let there be one God for the whole world, Shri Krishna. Eko Mantras Tasya Namani. And one hymn, one mantra, one prayer, the chanting of his name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Karmapya ekam tasya devasya seva. And let there be one work only, the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupach Madaganyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroh Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savathutam Jana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shiratha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shivishakhan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Ratha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanishvari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanipyo Vaishnavipyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So in this way, Shankaracharya, he wrote this Gita Mahatmya, where he glorifies Bhagavad-Gita. So in this present age of Kali, where so many quarrels for no any serious reason, so many wars started, people against to each others. There is no friends, even among the relatives, going so many bad things. You see, even this age what started when end of Dwapara Yuga, and only beginning of Kali, what started? The war, battlefield of Kurukshetra, where all the relatives from one family, they started to fight to each others. And the result of that war, all the man population of the planet Earth was killed. There was no man left, only 5 Pandavas. You see? What's the result of that? All Kshatriyas who was participating in this battlefield of Kurukshetra, they left bodies. All the soldiers And first we will read from Bhagavad-Gita how it was going on, and this the beginning of Bhagavad-Gita started much more earlier, when Vedavyas, Vedadvaipayana Vedavyas, who is a literary incarnation of Lord Krishna himself, his incarnation of Lord Krishna himself. He took birth from Parashara Muni and Parashara Muni and Satyavati. And it was going on just Yamuna. Satyavati, she was a daughter of fishermen. And she was just 12, 14 years old, young girl. And she was at home. And Parashara Muni, he needed to go through the Yamuna, cross the Yamuna. At that time, Yamuna was very deep and was very wide. Not like this, like now. It was very big. And he was calling the fisherman, but the fisherman, father of Satyavati, she was not at home. He was not at home. And he asked her, because he said, I should be on that bank of Yamuna immediately. Please ride the boat. So she agreed, and they were going by boat, and on the middle of Yamuna, suddenly Parashara Muni, he's a very great Muni, suddenly he got a realization that just on this time he can give a birth to the incarnation of God. He can conceive a child who will be an incarnation of God. And next to him was only Satyavati, young girl, nobody else there. So he offered her this proposal. And she was just a young girl. She's innocent young girl. And this is such a Parashara Muni, this sadhu with bear, with this head like this, and he's very famous, very, everybody knows him. So she said, but how? This is so many yogis there. There were yogis, some islands there, small islands. And even now you can see, once I was there, I saw recently. In the fog, so much fog, this, some yogi doing these asanas, yogic asanas, in the middle of Yamuna. So she said, so many people around, so many yogis, munis, sitting there meditating, how it's possible? He said, don't worry. And by his mystic power, he put a fog all around. And there was nothing, like milk. And it was just, nobody can see anything. And he created an island by his mystic power. He created island. That's why, and they conceived their child. At this time, in his semen came the soul or the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he immediately came out of the body of Satyavati and immediately grown up and immediately became a Veda Vyasa, Veda Dvaipayana Vyasa. Why Dvaipayana? Because he was born on Dvipa, on this island. And he became famous. So immediately he became a famous Muni. And what he said, he immediately started to do some austerities. And he immediately he already got a guru, Narada Muni. Narada Muni was a guru of him. And he immediately started consider what should be done with the Vedas. Vedas is so big, the huge ocean of knowledge. And Vedas, mostly they dealing with 3 modes of material nature. So many sacrifices to the different demigods. If you want this desire, you should worship to this demigod and do whatever. If you want after death to go to his planet, so many sacrifices, very prominent, very complicated. So mostly Vedas dealing with all this stuff. And he considering, and in his meditation, he was seeing this age of fault, of Kali, coming very soon. Because the battle of Kurukshetra divides Dvapara Yuga from Kali Yuga. As soon as the battle of Kurukshetra completed, started Kali Yuga. On the same second, Kali Yuga started. So this is crisis. All this crisis actually comes on the junction of two yugas. On the junction of two yugas, all Santhya, like we're chanting Gayatri on the Santhya. So junction of the day, 3 junctions of the day. So the junctions between yugas also, the crisis, the planetary crisis in the size of cosmic crisis. So then you can understand that started Yuga, new Yuga. And immediately degradation started with so big intensity. So Vedavyasa, Dvaipayana Vedavyasa, he was considering that, these people of Kali, they will not understand the Vedas. They will not read it. What to do? Their mind is very degraded. They're not memory. They're not interested in these activities. They mostly want to enjoy their own senses. And after death, they want to go to the planet of some demigods. They're worshipping, doing some yagyas only with the purpose to go after to this paradise or some Svarga Loka, Brahma Loka, Indra Loka. No more than that. And considering all this stuff, he divided Vedas on 4 parts. Just Mukundatta Prabhu, 2 days back, he was giving class on it. Samaveda, Yajurveda, Rigveda, Atharva Veda. Different parts of, but this humans' activities described in 4 demigods and human beings, what we should do to get salvation, liberation in this lifetime. And then he considered even this too high. This knowledge is too high for these people. They will be not able to understand it. And what he did, he compiled. This is Vedavyasa personal compilation. Vedas is Vedas. Vedas came from the Krishna. Nobody created Vedas. Vedas came from Krishna. He established it. This Bhagavad-Gita 15:15. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mattah smritir gyanam apochanam cha vedaischa sarvair aham eva vedyo vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. I created all these Vedas. From me comes forgetfulness. So Krishna says himself openly. So then Vyasadeva compiles Mahabharata. This was his personal Mahabharata, his personal compilation. He created this Mahabharata as a book for reading by mlechas, by the most fallen peoples like us, and also for women, because women considering are very, very low class. They have no inclination for philosophical research. For them, different. Woman means Shri. Shri. And Shri translates like she can make the beautiful material comfort. She can create. If man offers a house, build house, so a woman can make it very beautiful from inside. There's some different this stuff, furniture, and this carpet. This. So Shri. She's Shri, she can do, she's Lakshmi Devi's servant. So we cannot blame the woman for that. This is her nature, different energies. Man energy and lady's energy is completely different. They are two different energies, but both of them Prakriti. But this is Purusha Prakriti, man, and a woman is a subordinate. So, and Vedavyas, he compiles this Mahabharata, where was full of Mahabharata, full of politics, intrigues, these lover affairs between, and so many fights between, envy, and all this was very much exciting to read, like Roman. Nowadays, people are so much interested in this. So it was so exciting to read. And what he did, because he's Vedavyas, he's literary incarnation of God, he put the Bhagavad-Gita as a pearl, small diamond. Diamond is very small, he's not huge. Something tasteless and something cheap can be big, but the very expensive and very costly stuff, it's very small. So he put the Bhagavad-Gita just in the middle of that Mahabharata. So people will start read. They're all about the lives of emperors, like Pandavas, about Draupadi, how is going on, the fight, everything. And this Shakuni, especially Shakuni, he was uncle of Duryodhana. He was elder brother of Gandhari. Yeah, Shakuni was the best politics, intrigues. He was creating such. Due to him, the battlefield of Kurukshetra occurs, because Krishna himself was going to Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana as a messenger of Pandavas, and he said, please don't do the war, so many people will die. For what? Just Pandavas, they agreed to get 5 villages, 5 small villages, because they're Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas should rule. Somehow they should rule. This is this nature of Kshatriya. He should give protection for citizens, and he should look after them for their spiritual growth also. So they were ready to get 5 small villages. But Duryodhana said to Krishna, he said, just go. We are not agree with that. War will be war. We are preparing all the soldiers for war, and I will not give them even the place to put a needle. You can imagine. But the throne should be given to Pandavas, because their father Pandu was left body in early age, and actually the Pandavas was small children, and Dhritarashtra was just looking after them until they were grown up, and then he should give the throne to them, and he was blind. But he was blind not only physically but also spiritually. What to do? You see? And Shakuni, he said, no, we are not agree. War should be. And who will win this war, that person will be king, emperor. And emperor was not only just India. India at that time, there was no India. It was Bharatavarsha. It was whole the planet, Earth planet. And Yudhishthir Maharaj became an emperor of the whole planet. And all the Europe, these northern countries, Greece, this Central Asia, Siberia, Kekaya. It was Kekaya. Kekai. You know? And this wife of Dasharat Maharaj. She was from Siberia. From Siberia. And Gandhari, wife of Dhritarashtra, she was from my country, just Termes. Now it's named Termes, next to Afghanistan. They brought her from there to Hastinapur to marry to Dhritarashtra. You can imagine? At this time, it was, everything was very close. Not like, oh, Siberia, where it is now, Siberia, how long you should fly by airplane. But it was very easy. Just on the horse, they were going and bringing her to Hastinapur. It was very easy. This was different people, different heroes. This was end of Dwapara Yuga. But then Kali Yuga starts and there was different. Everything became different immediately. Of course, the sages of Naimisharanya, 1,000 years, they did yajna without stopping to counteract the faults of coming Kali Yuga. And you know why we are still here? We are in human body. We are not fighting. We are not cutting each other's throat. We are still sitting and we are reading Bhagavad-Gita, nothing else. Because of the sacrifice of these munis. For 1,000 years, one Brahmana was sitting, doing yajna, and then his life ended. He just was living body next to yajna, and his son was sitting. His body was going to cremation, and his son was sitting and continuing yajna of his father. You can imagine? And at this time, Krishna and Balaram, they were on the planet. Their Leelas, Baumi Leela, was going here in Vrindavan, just here. And Akrura came and took the Krishna Balaram to Mathura, to Kamsa. And Krishna killed Kamsa and killed so many demons here. Everything was going here. And the Nandagram is there, Gokul is there. Everything was here, nearby. And when Kurukshetra started, it was for Balaram, Lord Balaram, was a choice. They said, on which side he will be? And Lord Balaram said, I don't know. Krishna was for sure on the side of Arjuna and Pandavas. So Duryodhana took his army and Arjuna said, I need only Krishna. And he took Krishna with him as his charioteer. But Lord Balaram said, I don't know. Because Duryodhana was his disciple. Duryodhana was his disciple. He was teaching him how to fight with this, what's the name? Gada. Because he carries Gada, Balaram. So he was expert to work with this Gada. So he teaches Duryodhana. Duryodhana was expert in using this weapon. And then you can imagine, so on battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna and Balaram will fight with each other. Krishna on one side and Balaram on the Duryodhana side. Is already on Duryodhana side was the Bhishma Dev, Dronacharya, Kripacharya. All the teachers of Arjuna was there on that side. So this was just the between two yugas. This battlefield happened, and it was the sign. It was already known who will win this battle. Because whenever Krishna, it's the last verse of Bhagavad-Gita, whenever Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, and whenever with him this his dearest Sakha friend Arjuna, there will be victory, wealth, happiness, because this is all these energies, they are following to Krishna. So Krishna performed so many beautiful pastimes here. And we, again and again, we are thinking, for what? Why Krishna comes here? What's the need of him? I was speaking with one Muslim man, young man, 35, 40 years old. And I'm speaking about Krishna, but very carefully. I said, Allah, sometimes he comes here. Allah? He comes here for what? For what? He's in paradise. He has everything. All beautiful ladies is there with him. Whatever fruit or food he needs, everything is there. All the costly jewelry, diamonds, whatever he can create himself. He's saying, for what he will come? You can explain me. For what he can... But how I will explain to him? That he comes here to attract jivas, us. We are separated energies of the Lord. He comes because he feels pain that we are suffering here. He knows how we are suffering. He knows everything. And he, in the midst of his all enjoyment with pure devotees in his Golok Vrindavana, he feels pain in his heart. That there's so many my jivas there. They're suffering. They don't know the truth, the absolute truth about me. Let me go. And once a day, Brahma, in every 1,360,000,000 years, he descends here. And he descends in Vrindavan, in which place we are sitting now. And the Bhagavad-Gita is most important because this is essence of all Vedic literature. Vedas is so huge, we cannot even touch. We can stay on the bank of ocean, in front of your ocean. How you can take this ocean? So Vedas is an ocean. We have very small brain and very small duration of life. We cannot. That's why Bhagavad-Gita, this is essence, this small jewel, diamond, pearl, who was put inside of Mahabharata, just makes them to read this Bhagavad-Gita. Occasionally, maybe he will start, oh, this is so many politics, this Shakuni doing this, and Draupadi married for 5 Pandavas, and Duryodhana wanted this Draupadi, this also war started, and how they raped the Draupadi in front of all assembly. Oh, it is so interesting. But then suddenly comes the Bhagavad-Gita. This Bhagavad-Gita is not so much. About 750 verses only. And Srimad Bhagavatam contains 18,000 verses. This is only 750 verses. And Srila Prabhupada said, my disciples, for them nothing, they will know by heart. All this. I know many people, they know by heart Bhagavad Gita. But mostly important to read, as we just read now, very attentively and regularly. Bhagavad Gita, and takes the bhava which is contains in all verses. And actually Srimad Bhagavad Gita should not be read, it should be, you should live according to Bhagavad Gita. It is very difficult, it's most difficult. Read according to Bhagavad Gita. Life should be molded in such a way that we should, morning time you open your eyes, you should think what I should do according to Bhagavad Gita. How we should live whole day to remember Krishna. So about this disciplic succession, I was just very shortly, I already spoke about. So, evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu. Bhagavad Gita 4.2. Shri Krishna tells to Arjuna, you not remember? I was giving this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and you were with me in the presence of Sun God, Vivasvan? And I said, no, I'm not remember. This is forgetful nature of Jiva. But Krishna never forgets. So he delivered the Bhagavad Gita to sun god, Vivasvan, Surya Narayana. And Surya Narayana, he gave this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Manu. And Manu gave it to Ikshvaku. And in this way, this disciplic succession was going on. But then, disciplic succession was broken. Why it is broken? How you think? Why it is broken? Because on the junction of the two yugas, people completely degrading. There is no any memory left. So on the junction of these two yugas, new disciplic succession. Of course, this Bhagavad Gita, it is as it is, received through this disciplic succession. We are getting this through this disciplic succession. 32 personalities. And first, Krishna, of course. All knowledge comes from Krishna. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto. I am sitting in the heart of every living being. He's sitting as Chaitya Guru and gives this knowledge to every of us. So, Krishna. But Krishna delivers 3 Purusha avatars from himself. Karandakashaya Vishnu, Garbhadakashaya Vishnu, and Kshiradakashaya Vishnu. And Garbhadakashaya Vishnu, he was lying down in Garbhodaka ocean, and from his navel came the stream of lotus. And on that lotus born Lord Brahma, and Brahma becomes a recipient of the knowledge of Krishna, of Vishnu. Garbhadakashaya Vishnu gives him knowledge of Vedas after 1,000 years of austerities. Not just cheaply he took, no. 1,000 years austerities, heavy austerities, and then Garbhadakashaya Vishnu gave them knowledge about the Vedas. And he became recipient. And Brahma is a head, leader of our disciplic succession. He's secondary creator. First creator is Krishna, of course. He's secondary creator, but nevertheless, he's the most intelligent personality in this universe, in our universe. Lord Brahma, the most intelligent personality. No any more be higher than him. The most intelligent. That's why he is Brahma. From Brahma came who? Narada. Brahma had 10 sons, saintly sons. Everybody came from Brahma's different part of body, but he created Munis. And the most beloved, his son, was Narada, last one. 10th. And he because he loves this Narada so much, he delivered all the Vedas to him, to Narada Muni. And from Narada Muni became the guru of Veda Vyas. Veda Dvaipayana Vyasa, he had guru, Narada Muni. And of course, Narada Muni gave to him all the knowledge of the Vedas, including Bhagavad-Gita. This on Madhva, I told already. So Madhva was a disciple of Shankaracharya, who was leader of Advaitavadis, Mayavadis, and he secretly wrote commentaries to Srimad Bhagavad-Gita because he was very much afraid that the commentaries of Shankaracharya and his followers will affect on Vaishnava philosophy, on the devotees who will come. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was so appreciating the work which done by Madhva. In Udupi, he created this worship to Lord Krishna, this Udupi Krishna, this very ancient deity. You saw it? I was there also sometimes. Every day I was going to Udupi Krishna. In the midst of Mayavada philosophy, he created this temple. But his name was Ananda Tirtha, sannyasi name. And he cannot just openly cut his relationship with Mayavadis. And it was very dangerous. And after him, so many came of his disciples. And you can see every name is Jaya Tirtha, Brahmanya Tirtha, Vyasa Tirtha, 18:1, Vyasa Tirtha. This is all sannyasis in the line of Advaitavada, Mayavadis. And Vyasa Tirtha, very important, his grandfather, how we can say grandfather of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the spiritual, because Ishvara Puri was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, due to appreciation of Madhava's hard work, he took initiation from Ishvara Puri, who was in the line of Advaitavadis also, because he appreciated how they saved the Vaishnava philosophy from Mayavad, the Madhava. And that's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he took initiation from Ishvara Puri, who was a follower of Shankaracharya in Advaitavada. So from the Madhavendra Puri, at the time of that, he was a guru of Ishvara Puri. Madhavendra Puri, at that time, there was no Diksha initiation. Diksha, not Diksha, only Shiksha. They were mostly by Shiksha, taking Vani. Vani was not Diksha. Diksha came later on. So Madhavendra Puri gave initiation to Ishvara Puri, and Ishvara Puri gave initiation also to Nityananda Advaita. No, he was Nityananda and Advaita also was disciples of Madhavendra Puri. And then came Lord Chaitanya. And from this point, when Lord Chaitanya came, our Sampradaya has the name Brahma, Madhva, this Madhva, Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya Sampradaya. Because Gauda Desh, this West Bengal, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, due to this, they said Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya Sampradaya. This is our Vaishnava Sampradaya. There are 4 Sampradayas which have right to be on this Kali Yuga. So one of them is our Sampradaya. And from Lord Chaitanya came his disciples, Rupa, Sanatana, Raghunatha Bhatta, Raghunatha Dasa, Jiva, Gopala Bhatta. But also Swarup Damodar, personal secretary of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Sanatana. And Raghunatha and Jiva, they are 24th one. Jiva, the nephew of Rupa and Sanatana. Rupa and Sanatana, uncles of Jiva Goswami. So Jiva Goswami was last person who saw in life personally Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was 13 years old. Jiva, young boy. And he saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it was last person who saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu disappeared. So then Krishnadas Kaviraj, who wrote the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he never saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But he wrote in details all the lifetime from childhood up to end, after 48 years old, when he disappeared in the murti of Toto Gopinath in Jagannath Puri. Up to that time, he lived here in this our realm and material life only 48 years, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very less time. I was there in Toto Gopinath. I saw this on the knee of Toto Gopinath, the golden line. And this golden line is the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Comes. Small line here, scar. He went into the Toto Gopinath body through the knee. I saw this body, because he was golden, Gaura. And then Narottam. Narottam, he came too late to Jagannath Puri. Already Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left body, then Nityananda Prabhu left body. Whenever he comes to some city, all the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is already left body. Nara Uttama, but he got a Shakti from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nara Uttama, Narottama Das. He made so many temples, and a place where he was Remuna, where he was living when he was son of king, but he refused to become a king. But he was just a great sadhu. And then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He's a great scholar, the most prominent translator and commentator of Srimad Bhagavatam. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And then Baladev Vidyabhushana, his disciple, who wrote commentaries on Govinda Bhashya on Srimad Bhagavatam. On Vedanta Sutra, yes, you are right, Vedanta Sutra. Then Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur. You see how this Krishna, at a certain time, he chooses some personality to continue the disciplic succession. It comes exactly at the time that it needed. So from Bhaktivinoda Thakur came this Gaurakishore Das Babaji Maharaj, then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the ray of Vishnu, the what is 12th son of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He had 12 or 14 sons, so it was last son, the ray of Vishnu. His name was ray of Vishnu. What's the name was? Vishnu. Bimala Prasad. Bimal Prasad. And then 32nd personality on this hour disciplic succession, His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. At the age of 70, he went to America, and it was this journey. He was just digging whole planet. If not Srila Prabhupada, where we will be now? What we were doing now? Only due to him, we still existing in such cultured way. We can speak about philosophy, to speak about personalities, and read Sanskrit and translate. So this means that Krishna himself, his Ishvara, he controls all the disciplic succession. Whoever comes prominent, and actually they are not coming themselves. Krishna sends him. Krishna sent at the time of need Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada to this world, so that he can continue the work of all disciplic succession, that the disciplic succession will be not broken. It will be broken. It will come after 10,000 years. It will be broken. It's a very short time. They're saying, 10,000 years. 10,000 years, golden age. It's very short. And everything will be forgotten. Will be no books. Will be no Sanskrit, no munis, no teachers, no guru, nothing. You read 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. People will just eat and sleep. Eat and sleep. And the body will diminish in such up to 50 centimeters. People will be human beings, 50 centimeters, like big rats, and they will live under the ground in this some like rat doing, and there will be all the bombs which are USA, Russia, the prominent countries, all the bomb will burst, or everywhere will be radiation. There will be no sun, no moon, no stars, no rain, no water, no food. Human beings, they will eat everything, whatever running, eat. And mother will wait for the delivery of child. Whenever child comes out of your body, just take it and eat. You see, I saw recently one video film, American or Canadian and America together. They created film. You see, exactly on the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, they're showing the people, some people left on some area, and they're eating the children, body of the children, and they're selling the children, selling. It cost so much, and there is no water. One glass of water was cost so much, $1,000, just to buy one, and everybody wants to drink, but there is no water. All everywhere is radiation. You want to live in such a way? No. That's why we should live the body as this golden age given to us, just the opportunity, just to take perfection in your studies, in your Krishna consciousness, in chanting, make perfect your life, and just go to Golok Vrindavana to enjoy with Krishna by his devotional service. And everything is written here, and everything is given to us to make us more strong. Because everybody's, to die is so this suffering, to die, where I will go, who will meet me there, what kind. Because we are not strong in philosophy, that's why we have fear. But Krishna says this in Gita Mahatmya, that if you properly follow whatever I said in Bhagavad-Gita, you will be free from all fears and anxieties. Shri Bhagavad-Gita as it is, Ki Jai.